Thank you very much for coming out to today's Goodwill Youth event, where we have job seekers between the ages of 16 to 24 coming in looking for jobs, interviewing with Nordstrom's, learning soft skills from Starbucks, and also getting some great interview tips from Chipotle. This is a great event. Last year we had over 507 students and talent coming through. This year we're hoping for more. Thanks again.
My name is Jessie, and I am a recruiter at Starbucks, and I help support recruiting for baristas and shift supervisors all over Seattle, and like on the east side and down south. So I've got a pretty big area of stores that I help support. I've been a partner, which is what we call ourselves at Starbucks, for a little over 13 years, and I started as a barista when I was a senior in high school. Worked my way up to store manager and spent a lot of times in the stores, which was a lot of fun.
And I'm Anna. I'm a district manager in the Seattle metro area. So I support stores in First Hill, Pioneer Square, International Central District, and the Rainier Valley. And I'm an 11-and-a-half-year partner, and I also started as a barista.
Lots of opportunity for growth and development at Starbucks, which is really great.
Yep.
So we are going to spend a little bit of time talking about customer service at Starbucks. A lot of the stuff that we are going to go over also can apply to any job that has to do with customer service, but we're going to keep this a little Starbucks focused today. So we'll go over some of those basics. We'll also talk a little bit about like service recovery, because not everybody is perfect. There's some water on the ground.
Whatever.
She's more perfect than I am. It's fine. And how we kind of manage through those situations, and then we're going to do an activity at the end that deals with communication, because communication with your customers is really important. And then we'll have some time for some questions at the end. Sound good?
Yeah.
Who goes to Starbucks?
I used to be a partner.
You did? Where did you used to work?
Ken Des Moines Road.
Oh. I've only been in Seattle for 1.5 years, so I'm like, I don't know where that is.
That's awesome. Like that, you say Kent?
Yeah.
Down in Kent? Or?
Ken Des Moines.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Part of there, you're going to support now?
So one of the things, not one, I guess I should say, but our mission and what we stand for is, we're just going to go over it so you guys can get a glimpse of who we are and what we do and what we stand for. And so our mission is to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. We're going to do that with our values. So our partners are coffee, our customers, and our core. We live in these values. So our values of creating a culture of warmth and belonging where everyone is welcome. So we want to make sure our environment makes it a really easy place for you to come in and feel welcome. Act with courage, challenging the status quo and finding new ways to grow our company and each other. So we want to make sure that we're raising our hand or challenging something that might not feel right. Being present, connecting with transparency, dignity, and respect. We want to be really present for one another and respect one another. Delivering our very best in all we do, holding ourselves accountable for results. So like any other business, we need to be profitable in order for us to pay for all the great benefits that we have for our partners. So we want to hold ourselves accountable to achieving really great results. And we are performance driven through the lens of humanity. So just in the sense that we want to be profitable and we want to be successful, we always look at it through the lens of humanity. We want to make sure that we're taking care of our partners, which are Jessie and I, and our customers that we serve every day in the communities we serve.
So being committed to customers is something that's really important at Starbucks. Does anybody have any customer service experience already? Yeah, a little bit. What's your favorite part of customer service?
When the customer comes inside and then speaks to you and they're happy when they walk.
Yeah, I love that you say that they're happy when they leave, right? I think that, when we're being committed to our customers, it's really important to think about how all of the interactions that you have are a great way to create a personalized experience. And thinking about their satisfaction and ensuring that they're happy at the end is also really important. What's your favorite part? In the back. Yeah.
Favorite part about my favorite part about what?
Customer service.
I think the same thing as what she said, seeing them happy, I guess. Like, they're
Awesome.
satisfied with their own.
Yeah. You know, we're in the business of coffee at Starbucks, but we're really in the business of human connection. So being able to interact is that really important piece.
We want to make sure we're making it personal, right? So human connections, just like Jessie mentioned, are personal. So with time in your new role, so when you start at Starbucks, you will learn how to create personalized experiences based on what you know or observe about each of your customers. There are some things you can do with each and every customer right away. So who wants to read the first one?
Okay.
All right.
Smile, a little thing that makes a big difference. Smiling, warming at customers makes them feel recognized.
Everyone wants to walk in someplace and people are smiling, right? Because if people are not, it's like, well, do I really want to be in here right now? What about the second one?
Always offer very friendly to your customers. Say hello, ask how they are, what they're
Yeah, so a really easy way to start building a connection with somebody is asking about them and how they're doing versus like, what can I get for you? It's going to be $5. Thank you. It's not going to make you feel like you want to return. What about the next one?
customer's name if you are in a place where you regularly interact with the same people, try to remember their name.
So one of the things we pride ourselves in, if you guys have noticed at Starbucks, if you have a regular Starbucks you go to, is we want to make sure we remember who you are and we remember your order. It just makes you feel so much more welcome and a part of something when you walk in and they're like, hey, how's it going? You want your regular today? And so that's one of the things we really strive to do. What about the next?
Assume others have good intentions and use your judgment in every situation.
Yeah, so sometimes you can experience difficult customers when you're working in, of course, the general public. But one of the easiest things for you to think about is as you approach a customer service job is it's important to always assume positive intent, right? We don't know what that person might be going through or why they're upset. And so it's one of the biggest things that I'd say I've taken with me as I've grown personally and professionally at Starbucks is I want to make sure that you're always thinking about, hey, it might be a rough day for somebody, but it's going to be okay. And I'm just going to assume positive intent and continue on. And the last piece.
Say thank you no matter how busy you are. Make sure to always thank your customer. We don't have a reason to be here without them, so make sure you let them know how much you appreciate them.
Yeah, our biggest job is to make sure that as all of you are our customers, that when you leave, we thank you for coming back and thank you for being a part of giving us, coffee isn't cheap at Starbucks, so giving us a part of that so that we can make a bigger impact.
So every once in a while, a mistake might happen. Even when I worked in the stores, I made a mistake here or there. So, not everybody is perfect, but at Starbucks, we have a really great model that helps us remedy any types of customer complaints that we might receive, and it's called the Latte Model. I mean, we're a coffee company, right? It's got to be called Latte. This is pretty good. So this model kind of helps us guide us through the steps when we're connecting with an unhappy customer in a way that makes everybody feel valued. And this is also like a great way if you work anywhere. This works everywhere. So keep in mind that when you're in a situation where you need to have some customer service recovery, staying friendly and being engaging with your customer will set you off on an amazing start to do what's right for your customer every single time. So we'll look at the steps of the Latte Model right here. So L is for listen. So really listening to the customer without interrupting, always maintaining eye contact, and letting them fully explain why they're dissatisfied is the best way to start. So never showing frustration is also really important because, as Anna was saying, we don't know what's going on in a customer's day before they come into our store and interact with us. And we see so many different people inside of Starbucks a day that you just never know what's going on. And a lot of the times we're that that little light, you know, at the end of the tunnel of a long, hard day, and they want to make sure that they're having the best experience possible. So when we're listening, we just want to make sure that that customer feels recognized as they voice their concern for the situation. So the next thing that we do in Latte is apologize. Have you guys ever had to apologize for anything before? Right? I know I haven't either because I'm perfect. But those words, I'm sorry, can go such a long way in a situation where you're trying to recover customer service. So if the order is not to their liking, or maybe something was made incorrectly, or maybe they got the wrong thing, always apologize. And some phrases that are good to use are, I'm sorry, thank you for letting us know, that sounds frustrating, like, let me totally help you with that, right? And make sure that they feel included so that you're working to make the moment right. So asking questions while you're apologizing is important as well, so that you have a really great understanding of what the situation was that you need to fix, and then also how you're going to be able to fix it. T, take action. So making sure that you're taking action quickly to make the situation right is important. So ensuring that you're supporting that customer right then and there in that moment, and letting them know, hey, I remade this wrong, I'm going to make it for you right now before these other drinks come out, so that we give you that great experience is really important. Bringing us to our next T, which is thank. So I think that one of the greatest things about Starbucks is that, like, we're always here for our customers and we're constantly thanking them. And when I used to be a store manager, if one of my baristas was on the bar and they're handing out drinks, it's my expectation that the last thing that they say to a customer is thank you. Like, we want to thank people for spending their hard-earned money in our stores, right? And in those situations too, like, if the customer was like, oh, you know, thank you, and my barista said, you're welcome, we would have a little conversation about that, because you need to say, no, thank you. So it's important to always thank that customer. And then finally, for the E, so that we can spell out latte, ensuring satisfaction. So after you've thanked that customer, make sure that there's nothing else that you need to do so that they're leaving satisfied. So if you've had to remake their drink, I would always say, hey, will you take a sip of that before you leave, so that, like, we can make sure that it's perfect? And always, you know, thinking about how you're assuming positive intent, smiling and making eye contact, to really make that a situation with the customer that turns it around.
Lovely, Jessie.
So communication is key within customer service, especially at Starbucks. We're always talking to people throughout the entire shift. So it's really important to be able to totally understand what's going on in a situation, and making sure that you also understand what the needs are of that customer, so that we can meet them, and we can meet them well. We want them to leave happy, right? So we are going to play a fun little game. Have you guys ever played the game telephone?
Does it involve whispering?
I'm like, we're not talking about Lady Gaga and Beyonce, unfortunately, but yes, it does involve whispering. So I'm going to whisper something to Anna, and then it'll get whispered to everybody else across the room, and we're gonna see if we can get this right by the end. Doesn't that sound fun?
All right.
That was close. That was close. So I said, I mean, that was good. And Anna does always do a good job of telling everybody what to do. But I said to her, Anna did a good job of figuring out what Jessie wanted to drink. Close, right? So, like, we were close. But what's important to remember is, in customer service, if you don't totally understand what's happening within that interaction with your customer, ask them questions to make sure that you can get their order right. And like at Starbucks, we have 87,000 different beverages that you can make with all of our ingredients. And now that we have blonde espresso, it's probably like 160,000 different combinations of beverages. So it's really important that you're accurate when you're taking orders with your customers.
Wait, so what was the original sentence?
Anna did a good job of finding out what Jessie wanted to drink.
Yep.
I sent that out my way.
You did good, kid. You did good. But like that definitely happens sometimes, right? So again, that's why it's just important to always just kind of connect in. And if you are in customer service and you're taking orders at Starbucks, we always read back that order to make sure that we've got it correct, because it's hard if you have to remake a beverage. Like, you guys all know how to recover in that situation now, and you can recover well, but with all of the different routines and processes that we have in our stores, it kind of puts a little clink in things. So we just want to get it right on the first try.
And always just imagine, I mean, it's not good when you receive something that's not accurate, right? So put yourself in that spot as well.
Anybody have any questions for us?
I wish I had had this training when I was still a barista.
Do you guys have like any questions that are on your lanyard?
Oh,
Because we're trying to give away stickers today.
yeah, what do we do with these actually? Like after,
Oh, the lanyards when you're done?
like upstairs, but like, isn't this one training? Isn't this one of the?
It's a workshop. It's
Yep, attending a workshop. You gotta ask some questions, otherwise you don't get a sticker.
I'm not gonna say how to apply because I know how to do that, but
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, when you're hiring the 16-year-olds, right, you hire a 16-year-old, I know they're limited to so many hours they can work during the school year, but would they have the option possibly in the summer to work more hours?
Yep.
I don't know how it is with the school permit or what have you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So when school is not in session, there are still hours of the day that they can't like work before and they can't work after, but they can work up to 40 hours during when school's not in session.
Oh, okay.
so long as the store has it available for them.
Right.
Okay, okay.
So Jessie, what's been your biggest challenge in all the years you've been at Starbucks?
Oh, that is a fantastic question. I think for me, it's been a great ride. I kind of grew up in the stores, right? So I started when I was 17 and never imagined that Starbucks would be a career for me. I thought I was going to graduate high school and go off to college and get a real job.
Real job.
And throughout different opportunities to grow and develop with the company, I think that it's something that as those opportunities presented themselves, it was just clearer and clearer and clearer that Starbucks is a real job, first of all, but also has taught me so much. So, I'm in corporate now and I do recruiting now, but I used to be a store manager and I was running a business that made anywhere from, dependent upon the stores that I ran 3 different stores and was in 4 different stores as an ASM, but I ran stores that were anywhere from like $750,000 a year in business up to $2 million a year in business. So my ability to operate a business and manage a profit and loss statement and also build a team, I think that could kind of be a challenge sometimes, but not one that was like a negative challenge or one that I didn't want to take on. I love Starbucks because we are such a diverse company, and to be able to build a team like when I was a store manager that was diverse was fantastic. I'm super great, but if I had 15 of me running around my store, I would go crazy. And I also love learning from other people and hearing different viewpoints. So I think that can be a challenge, because when you're a store manager, you have a certain set of expectations for who you want to hire, and you really have to consider what will flesh out your team and how you can bring different unique qualities into your team. And then, this is getting deep for Jessie. But the other thing that was challenging for me was just what I wanted to do after being a store manager. Because I could have been a district manager, and Anna makes that job look absolutely fantastic. But I didn't know if that's what I wanted to do, and that's why I actually moved to Seattle. I was living in Hawaii before I moved here, because we have so much opportunity with our corporate headquarters being here, and it's opened up doors that I didn't even know existed, which has been really, really fantastic.
Are you based at the First Avenue
Yeah.
building?
Yeah.
I worked down there.
Oh, awesome. See me walking around sometimes.
You guys take volunteers?
For what? We don't really have, I mean, like, we'll do, like, community service events where we have volunteers, where we're just, like, out in the community. But for really anything that's, like, inside of a store, like, inside of our corporate headquarters, we don't have any volunteers. Yeah. What's your question?
So Starbucks is very competitive when it comes to hiring people. Like how do you stand out, especially since it's like an online application? Like how do you, especially as like a teenager, how do you get to Starbucks?
It's a really, really great question. I would say building a relationship with the store manager of the store that you'd like to work in. Like, as a teenager, you're probably a little bit more limited, right? And like the locations that would work well for you. And one thing to think about is that that store that works really well for you may not need staffing at that point. But if you're connecting in with that store manager and just building that relationship and like letting them know, like, hey, I'm a customer in your store when I can be. I really love the environment here. And if you have an opening that comes up, like, I'd love for you to think about me. Also, following up on your application is great after you've applied to see if you can talk to the store manager and let them know, because store managers get a ton of applications in the system. So it can be kind of hard to reach out to every single person, especially if that store doesn't need to hire right then and there.
And when you go into the store and you see things on the floor, or like, you know, try to be helpful when you can.
My question was, since you guys have like a schooling program with your workers, what is the experience like with that?
Like the process?
Yeah.
So we offer a free bachelor's degree for any partner who is part-time, so works up to 20 hours a week. And it's online. It's through Arizona State University. It's accredited university. You get a degree. You get to fly to Arizona and walk stage. And I wish they had that when I was in school.
Right.
Like, I want a free bachelor's. So.
Yeah. Well, and like what's really great about that program, so when you're thinking about college, that takes a lot of like time away from when you can work, right? So our college achievement plan program is all online, and that gives you the ability to have really flexible scheduling. We also offer flexible scheduling in all of our stores, you know, working with our partners that are in school, but like that depends just on kind of like business needs and hours of operation and everything like that. Awesome. Any other questions, you guys?
If you wanted to like change shifts with someone, or like you had to miss a day of work, is Starbucks really strict on that?
No, I mean you get to know your partners that you work with. You get to figure out who can cover for you, who can't. We're not strict with it so long as you have communication with your store manager. Is really the process.
And I think one of the good things about Starbucks too is that like we have schedules that are posted 3 weeks out in advance. So it gives you a lot of ability to plan ahead. So if you have like doctor's appointments, or you know that there's something going on at school, or there's, you know, a concert that you need to go to, or anything like that, we make it really easy for you to plan that out, so that we can give you the time off in advance. All right, cool.
Thank you. I can give stickers to anybody who needs it.
Stickers. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.